high, but I'm gonna let them cut this, because I want to make sure that we're being recorded. There we go. Okay, I can see it. Corri, hey.
Hey. How's it going?
Thanks for coming. Hey guys, we're doing this again because I messed up last time with the recording, but I'm very excited to talk to Corri and hear her story and talk about social and all the things.
I'm so excited.
Round two. How are you
Let's
doing?
do
How's
it.
summer going?
Summer is honestly non-existent here in San Francisco. It's freezing. It's been the coldest summer that we've had since, I guess, 1980. We're hitting a world record of like the coldest temperatures we've seen in July. So it's freezing.
What is the temperature?
Yeah. It's been low 60s, high 50s all summer, but it's been mist, it's been wet, it's fully fog, it's cold, like to the bone cold too. We've never experienced a summer like this. So it could be better, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll get through it. We know October is going to be warm here in the Bay. So we're just trying to get there.
Does that make, is there any second guessing of being there, or is that you just kind of like,
all the time. All the time. We're like, why are we doing this? All the time. Like, should we just go to SoCal? Should we just like hop, skip an hour or two down south? But family's close, and both on Lucas, myself side. So it's like family's here. So we're just going to stick it out. We know the weather changes here too. It's just crazy.
I got it. And then is everyone like, oh my God, the weather today? Is that like the main topic of conversation?
Always. It's like, how's the mist? Good. We're a little damp. Perfect. Like everybody wearing and bringing 6 layers at all time. It's just like the same every single day, but we love it.
Well, yeah, San Fran is beautiful. I know that's where I would deduct points, but that's topic for another day. But so many fun things to talk about. Your story is so fun, and you're so cool about sharing it. But why don't we take it back? And then for context, Corri is coach. She's a creator. She's been building her personal brand, and she's a coach. So she's a lot of really amazing insights. She works with, dozens and hundreds of creators over time, and there's all sorts of stuff we'll unpack there. But Corri, let's start with your story and how you transitioned, because fitness has been a part of your life. So we'll talk about that. But where fitness entered your life.
Totally.
And where becoming a content creator entered your life.
Totally. All right, where do we start? So, sports has always been a constant through growing up. I played soccer my whole life. Throughout high school, went to college. College was a blast, almost a little too fun. College was so much fun. I started at University of Arizona, did the whole sorority thing. Ended up transitioning out and just like felt in my pull, like felt something else was there that I just hadn't tapped out yet when it comes to just like closing out my college career. So came back home for a semester, got my grades up and went into Cal and ended up graduating from Cal. That's where I met my husband. So I definitely feel like the universe was leading me down that path eventually, just so I could meet some people and end things on a good note, which helped a lot. After college wrapped, I went into recruiting, as most of us do when we're majoring in communications and psychology. So started an agency in San Francisco, was there for a couple of years, just grinded out in agency recruiting, then transitioned into Facebook. At the time it was called Facebook. So I was there for a total of 5 years at Facebook and Meta. It was amazing. The perks of working in corporate tech are awesome, but definitely my soul was starting to dim a little bit, and I knew it was taking a toll on me personally and what I wanted to do. While I was working at Facebook, I also started teaching Pilates and yoga and sculpt, so I was teaching group fitness on the side, and I knew in my heart, I was like, fitness, I just feel it in my gut, this is what I was meant to do. So I just didn't know how to do it. So I always thought that fitness was going to be just that kiss of peace. Well, I had to commit to something else to kind of have stability throughout my life. And cue the tech layoffs that happened a couple years ago. I was laid off. This was also a peak time of me really diving into drinking and just the socializing of tech and corporate tech and happy hours. Like it kind of just turned into a lifestyle of drinking a lot, working hard, playing hard, basically, was like kind of my constant. So drinking more than I ever have. I was in a very, very, very low state when it comes to just my love for my work and who I was as a human being. So it was probably one of the lowest moments of my life during that time of just feeling really lost in what I wanted to do and who I was truly, and my voice, and understanding where I could see myself and where I was supposed to be with my life. So the tech layoffs happened. During that time, I also was in therapy. I was working with a therapist on just how to get out of my hole, like what's going on. And we had a really deep talk on, all right, Corri, let's talk about how much you're drinking. Let's get down to the basics of it. Reality check of you being, for those who don't know or don't follow me, I am very petite. I'm 5 foot. So the amount that I was drinking for my frame, they called me Tiny Tank for a reason, basically. So, basically the reality check was, like, I'll never live it down either. I'll never live it down. The reality check was, like, for how small I was drinking a outrageous amount. It was, few drinks a night was the norm. And I know it was only getting worse. Alcoholism runs pretty deep in my family. My mom's been sober for 6 years now. She beat it. I've seen my aunt struggle. So I know it's a deep-rooted thing within me. And I knew that my relationship with drinking wasn't the same as others. It was something that I did crave. It was something that I felt like I needed. I felt like when I started, I couldn't stop. So that binge mindset of, like, once I started, it was like a full-on just skyrocket to the moon. I wanted to keep going for days on end. I felt like it was different in my heart on what my relationship was with alcohol. So with all that being said, work with a therapist, and he was like, we got to figure something out. So we said, why don't we cut it back and just pull it back a little bit? And I was very open on if alcohol's in the picture, I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the driver's seat for majority of my life. So let's just try cutting it cold turkey. Let's give it a shot. I committed to 30 days during dry January, and that was back in 2022, and I haven't had a drink since. I say this because during this time of I got laid off from tech, and then I committed to 30 days alcohol-free. That was like the pivotal moment in my life where everything changed. Like, I know for a fact this was the moment where if alcohol was in the picture and I got laid off, things would look very different right now, and I truly don't know where I'd be, who I would be. I have absolutely no idea, but I know it was all meant to be at that moment where the universe was saying, we're gonna strip you from your corporate job, and we're gonna strip you from alcohol, and you're gonna figure out who you are, and you're gonna go on this journey. So that kind of started everything from there. I was just like, I was bored, truly bored. I didn't have a job, and I know I loved two things, which was now making mocktails because I had nothing else to drink, and I loved burning out the arms with light weights. I loved the method of Pilates. So I started posting on TikTok, and I became kind of like the flash arm girl on TikTok of like spicy 5-minute arm burnouts that women can do at home. And things started to grow, started to build a community on TikTok, and everything from there, the rest is history. Never look back. It's how I met Clubera, hired a coach. People were asking for programs. I didn't know where to begin. I started looking up creators who had apps. I was like, I don't even know there's like a missing piece in my mind of how to build a platform. Found Playbook, and the majority of the top creators that I followed were on Playbook, and saw coaching existed, took a leap with coaching, and changed my life. It completely changed everything I am, and totally became my full-time career because of that moment. So that was a very long-winded answer. But yes, it's been a wild journey. I never in a million years thought I would be here, but I'm very grateful for it. Very grateful.
That was a great summary of your journey, and quite the journey.
Yeah.
Trying to think of the best entry point back there, and I think one of the coolest things. One of the things that we always say at Playbook is like the foundation of you, and that's a part of our coaching is to work on yourself, who you become. And I think it's really cool that you are so open about your story. And I'd say, I think from a pure social standpoint, that's been your transformation or transition has been a big part of the narrative that you shared, and I think that's cool for anyone to hear about maybe a little more depth of how you I think I know you started on TikTok, so it'd be cool to hear you had a little bit of limiting beliefs with starting on Instagram. So I'd love to talk about that. And then the other thing I'd love to talk about is the type of content that's resonated, which has been largely about some of these issues, and how you got the courage to start talking about it.
Totally. So yes, to your point, I leaned on TikTok heavily when I first started showing up online. I was petrified of Instagram. It was all middle school, high school, college, and I just didn't even want to dip my toes in. I had so much fear there around just the cringe factor and being made fun of and just how people would perceive me. So starting with TikTok and being able to truly become whoever the hell I wanted to be on TikTok without any fear really helped me set the foundation of, okay, what is the voice I even like to share online, and play around with different types of content on long form and short form and get creative with this character and this persona that I was building. So I had a lot more room to play with the type of content I was putting out. Also the engagement and the reach that you can hit with TikTok too. Sometimes it takes one post and you really can skyrocket from there to like a pretty solid growth and engagement pool of people. So starting there was definitely the best route for me for sure, because I just needed to figure out, number one, how to even create content. I had never been content creator before this. I had never known how to edit, how to voice over, like little things like that. It almost was just this practice year of figuring out my voice and understanding how to create captivating and storytelling type content. And it took one post on TikTok that hit over 1 million to really give me the momentum of like, okay, something can happen. I have something figured out. And that one post was the reason I kept showing up every single day. And from there, that's where I started to say I'm getting a little more courage and confidence in who I am, to be pushing on Instagram. And Instagram truly was where the business piece happened. Like TikTok was what I needed to understand how to create and my voice, but actually building a business and a business storefront and a running machine for my Pilates platform for more, like it all happened on IG. So it was the perfect step in the right direction of like, practice here, we get it figured out, we build some traction, we build a community, and then actually turning it into a business was where Instagram happened. And then with Instagram, the content that actually resonated the most, which is a little bit different than TikTok, was actually when I started to share how hard it was for me to be showing up in this world without alcohol. I posted one post that was a video of me sipping out to dinner, just a mocktail, and acting and saying, this is what people think. We think we're happy. We think we're okay. We think we're solid when we're sober. But in reality, we're actually struggling a lot. And then it showed me kind of in the restroom, just having a moment of like, I don't know who the hell I am right now. Like, I need to get out of here. And that post really resonated, kind of blew up. And that was when I realized, okay, people just need realness. They need the struggle. They want to see that this isn't easy. And a lot of people are struggling with this, whether it is alcohol, substances, removing any sort of habit, it could be anything. And so that's how it started to grow on Instagram, was stripping down actually, and just let's be real and raw, and let's be human and talk about it. So yeah, never thought it'd be that. I thought I was going to be the home workout girl on Instagram and be like, ooh, Pilates workouts, but it actually was me just having really hard days and talking about how we get through those really hard days and things that we can do to keep pushing through one day at a time, pushing through sobriety.
Yeah, and that's all great stuff, and there's a couple things to unpack there. But that last point, I'd say for creators, it's the customers have a hierarchy of problems, and business is basically is the game of solving people's problems. And like a workout and a nutrition plan is like number 5 to 10 on that list of root problems, and it's the addictions that are up top, and that makes so much sense, that how much that resonated. And then I guess how do you for someone who is, everyone has their version of addictions. Yours sounds like but the alcohol is pull for a variety of reasons. But where did you get the courage to just be like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna just try this post? Like, how did that come to you?
It truly came from me. I actually had a breakdown in the bathroom. It was like a true moment of me sitting in the restroom while the girls were out enjoying themselves and just feeling this overwhelm of, oh my God, is this going to be my forever? Am I always going to feel like this? Am I always going to be struggling and missing the buzz? And I think that's kind of where it clicked in my head of, I know for a fact that if I'm feeling this after 2 years of sobriety, there are more people out there that are also struggling with this, who are just early on, 30 days in, or maybe they're in it for the long run like me. Like, if I'm still feeling it, I know for a fact maybe someone else might need to hear this too, or see it too, or feel seen. So that was the moment too where I was just like, I got to put it out there because I know someone is in pain right now. And if I'm feeling it and I've seen my mom go through it and my aunt go through it and family members, then someone else maybe needs to hear this as well, that they're not alone. So kind of that mindset of I really want to build a community of people that can come together and lean on one another, versus like I just want to hit something viral or I want to just blow up. It was just like I just want a safe space for people. And once I had that mindset shift too, things started to change quite a bit.
I love that. Is there any element, I heard, one of the coaches that does a great job is like, hey, I'm going to hold myself accountable. I'm going to share because I want to help hold myself accountable to the internet. And is there any element of that where you're like, hey, I want to share my truth, and then it also can help, it can also serve me back to some extent where it's encouragement and other people sharing their stories, and you feel like you have a community that you don't want to let down? Like, does that come to your mind at all? Or
all the time. There's times where I'm still, when I'll get into a hole of like, why am I doing this? Because I know, like, I could probably, to be between all of us, I could probably have a drink and be fine. Like, I probably could let it back in. But being able to see this community come together has quite literally helped me continue through sobriety. I don't say that lightly either. Like, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have this powerhouse of a crew, of a team of people that are in this thing together. And it's really helped me push through some incredibly dark days and some pretty intense shadows where I thought I was going to crack and I didn't know if I was strong enough. And knowing that number one, like, there's a lot of people that might need my help, or I am the same, where I know I need them too. And it's became this really mutual, powerful relationship that has kept me pushing forward. Truly kept me pushing forward. So yes, to your point, it's helped me beyond I could have ever imagined in this journey. It's crazy.
Awesome. As much as people, I think, can shit on social media, it really is an incredible tool for so many reasons. And, for reasons like, if you didn't have that, it's like, God, it's like when you have, you're in a hole by yourself, then you got no one to talk to really, besides your therapist. And like, that's not enough for most people. So
totally.
That's pretty awesome to hear that it's what it's done for you and what you're helping to do for others.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. And let's go back to, I love the point of, for so many creators, it's completely understandable that putting myself out there, especially like, the people, by and large, people who follow me are friends and family on Facebook or Instagram, and they're like, who the fuck are you? Like, there's you're just
literally,
like, God, I gotta, I'm like, my mom's gonna be the first person commenting on my posts and all that stuff. But I love TikTok as the training ground for, it's like, hey, don't even think about it as monetization or necessarily business performance, but it's just like you got to get training in somewhere, because it's a skill that you're building. So your mindset, which I love. So you're like, I'm gonna go on TikTok, and then did you have any goal in mind where you're like, I gotta do a certain amount of posts, or it's got to look a certain way, or you're just kind of like, I want to do this, I'm going to figure it out, I'm going to give myself a lot of leash to figure it out. Like, what was the mindset, as you started and then as you progressed on TikTok?
Yeah. My goal was I was going to post every single day, whether it was a short form post or whether it was an arm workout or whether it was some sobriety tip or mocktail recipe. I was going to show up every single day and just play around with long form, whether it's like talking for over a minute and just like chatting through like learnings from sobriety or things I'm struggling with, or a full arm workout and play around with like full length classes. So I made it a goal of like, let's just see what the algorithm is liking. Let's just see what people are connecting with, and use the analytics as best as I could to start building off of that. But yeah, showing up every single day on TikTok, I know for a fact, like, consistency was the only reason that one of the videos popped. Like, if I wasn't showing up every single day, I don't think it would have hit as much as it did. But because I was just playing around with different things, and the one that did kind of take off a little bit was a transformation of my arms before to my arms after. And that was something I hadn't played around with before. And that was the one that kind of skyrocketed everything a little bit and pushed the growth. So I had to just play around with as many different types of content as I possibly could. Set a goal to just show up every single day as much as I could. And then to your point, that's how it translated over into Instagram. Once I hit like 20-ish K on TikTok, that's where I was like, okay, you're just going to try out IG and we're just going to play around with it. And it was definitely a slower of a burn for Instagram for sure. Cause I was only leaning into the workouts and home workouts and not the sobriety just yet. So it took a minute for that to grow. But once it did, it was like, okay, I finally have that muscle built of what I need to do to push out content and to not feel overwhelmed or burnt out. We just have so many ideas and things saved by that point that it was way easier, to make it a consistent thing in your life without it completely taking over your life either.
I love it. And then, I'd say so many folks are like, whether it's building a passive income stream or whether it's on the side, on the top of their job, or really setting themselves to leave their job, that's that's the goal that we're helping most folks with. Was it you had like really no film? You had like very little social media experience or almost none, and then you're like, and then you also like, I don't want to go on Instagram and like have my family and friends judge me. So I go on TikTok, and then was it a journey of, hey, I'm gonna look at what's working, and then I'm gonna look at other creators, and then I'm gonna play with the editing tools and figure it out. And I'm gonna figure out how to get this angle on my camera, and then I'm gonna figure out how to add music. Like, was that the thought progression of like you're like, I just got a skill stack, and I'm gonna do that for days, weeks, months, whatever it takes to like be able to put a good piece of content together?
Yeah, exactly. It was truly, let's just figure out how to even put an actual piece of content together. And let's play around with different types, and let's add different audios, and let's figure out, because at that time too, this was like pre me working with a coach, like figuring out who my persona and my online character, I just didn't have that dialed yet. So I didn't understand who I was yet who I was showing up online. And also this was earlier on in sobriety. And something that we help out with our creators so much is building online. And I truly, truly feel like I still had a lot more I needed to build on in my sobriety journey. Like, I was so early on that I almost needed to grow with everybody online too, and go through these hardships and these learnings and these struggles to be able to show up a little bit more. So I just think there was a lot more work I had to truly put into myself as a fitness coach, Pilates coach, but also as someone who was just learning to love life without alcohol. I had a lot more life to live. So during that time, I documented literally everything I possibly could, whether it was hard days, great days, making drinks, out with friends. Like, I just filled up my camera roll with so much of the journey of me getting to where I am now, that I just had a full camera roll of my entire past 3 years of this wild journey ready to go to build and create these stories and bring this message to life. So it was just this giant build of post and create content and just film everything that you possibly can, and slowly this person and this voice is going to come to life.
I love it. And could we go like a layer deeper into film everything you can? Like, because that doesn't always translate to some people what exactly that means. Like, what does that mean to you? What angles are you getting? Where are you pulling out your phone and filming? Like, what does that mean? Yeah,
that's such a great question. So, variety of things. So of course, like day in the lives in the house, like I'll usually try to have my phone up in the kitchen, whether I'm making coffee, whether I'm making breakfast, recipes, nutrition, things I'm eating. When I do ever do nutrition posts or recipe posts, I'll have so many of those of me simply just snacking on something. It doesn't have to be glamorous or huge or extravagant type of post for it to have a great message, and for you to make something beautiful out of it. So yes, a lot was in the kitchen. A lot is done me getting ready for a workout. Capturing those moments go a long way. Actually filming myself doing my classes on the mat, that's huge. And then the biggest one that I had to get over, which I'm sure you probably would guess, is just putting my phone up whenever I was out. And it was just getting over that cringe of like, I'm just gonna put my phone up when I'm out with friends. And I'm the only one that might be drinking, their mocktail, or might be drinking a sparkling water with a lime, and get yourself sipping on it. And then when I was having a moment and I had to leave and I had to just like breathe it out, just putting my camera up and being with the community during that moment and showing people that this is okay to feel this type of way. It's okay to struggle. So capturing those two things were definitely the most important for me, because people really connect with people out in the wild, whether it's you're out with friends, whether you're drinking, whether you're socializing, whether you're connecting, being out and living your life. Those are the moments that really pull people in and make them feel like they're part of you. So that was definitely the most important piece that I needed to just ensure was filled in my camera roll, of as many, many moments of me out and about with friends having a good time, and then also having an absolutely terrible time. And like keeping that in my camera roll really made a huge difference.
Thank you for sharing that. And then one specific comment in there, like that's awesome. When you say like take your phone out with friends, is that like, hey, I got a tripod on the table, or is that I'm holding it up? Is it both of those things? You go.
Yeah, no, it's such a good question. I only, I'll grab my phone and then I'll literally prop it up against like something on the table. So whether it's like on my cup of water, I simply just prop it up so it's back camera, so it's like the crispy back camera, and I'll literally just put it up and just film myself and just keep it up for 60 seconds and capture myself having conversation, capture myself having a sip of a drink, biting into my food. So I don't have a tripod out with me at all, but I will just prop it up on anything that's on the table. And then if I'm going to the bathroom, I'll put it up against the sink so it's up against the mirror. And then when I'm having a moment of just like panic or feeling lost, I'll capture that moment there. But no, I don't need to bring a tripod out. You can do it with nothing and just put it up against anything and boom, you're golden.
I love that. That's a great tactic in and of itself right there. Not many folks know how to create B-roll, and it's such a key part of creating content. So thank you for sharing it. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So great TikTok strategy there. We go over to Instagram, and then you're sharing fitness content. You're sharing your sobriety stuff. That's where it really starts to click, as you'd say, as you start getting more. Because there's so much, there's a lot of you need education content as part of your brand, but there is a lot of it out there. And then would you say that was like your big on Instagram? That was your big moment, or your big, what was the word I'm looking for right now? Once you started sharing that content, that's when you feel like you really started to level up, or you started to grow. Is that fair to say? Yes.
And one thing I wanted to call out about that too was, and this is something that I've been thinking about a lot after kind of reflecting on my journey, is the stuff that popped off wasn't like this groundbreaking, like, oh my God, that is so mind-blowing of the information she's giving us. Something as simple as, I want to share out a podcast that literally changed my life and helps me get through cravings and urges, and just being someone that can share out a resource to somebody is helpful enough and can do absolute wonders. And that is the type of content that did the best for me, of simply just being, hey, I'm a girl, I'm just living and feeling, but there's free resources out there that we can all utilize to help push through these hard moments, and I want to share them with you. So those were the posts that did the best of, let me send over a podcast that's been helping me a lot, that I've listened on repeat, whether it is through sobriety, whether it is through just releasing a habit or figuring out your purpose. So yes, like myself putting in the work and actually listening to those resources I had to do, but it's something as simple as just sharing out something online that's helped you, that can make a difference in someone's life. And to that point of, you don't need to be this world record holder or an Olympian or hitting PRs to be someone that's going to be helping someone or that's going to make an impact on somebody's life. You living and breathing and being a human and building online is enough. And that's really, really powerful and really important. And somebody needs your story. So yeah, that's something that I've learned too recently, is your journey is really powerful just as it is. And little things go a long way.
The reality to that point too is that most people don't struggle with going to the Olympics. Most people struggle with an addiction or something in their life, and it's very, and then there's so much content of like do these things, but to be able to connect with someone who's actually going through it and recently gone through it and is like me, who has solved it, is so powerful. And that really is like, I'd say the most valuable content you can get access to. So it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked about this last time. like a couple quick questions and let you go is like
Okay.
the ability to be vulnerable is a cornerstone of your social content, and then in a very real way. It's not like there's some people just it's so manufactured. That vulnerability is so manufactured. It's just like ugh. But you're so cool with it, and you're putting yourself out there. And the moral I'm getting at, so I'm not ranting here, is like you feel like there's more that you want to show? Do you feel like you've been, if someone was like, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm trying to figure out if I'm a 10 vulnerable or a 1, like how much I put myself out there. If you to say where you'd rank yourself on a 1 to 10 scale, where would you say you are?
I think I'm a hard 9. I definitely show a lot of the struggle, and I'm very, very open. I think there's still some things that I'm going to feel that I haven't felt yet in this crazy sobriety journey, because I know there's a lot of things that I just truly haven't experienced yet, and I'm sure there's a lot more battles that I'm going to have to take on when it comes to this. But I do think with at least what I've been through currently, I'm pretty open with how much I miss drinking, honestly. Like, I'm very open with it. Hasn't been an easy one. And I wish after 2.5 years I didn't miss it, but I still do. And that's okay. And I think being open about that's okay that we still feel it. Most important thing is we know that we're going to make it through the next 30 minutes, and we're going to make this battle as small as possible, and we're not going to stress out. And we know that the cravings are going to pass. And I think that's helped a lot too, of just letting people know that my journey is not perfect, and if you're not perfect, then let's just do this thing together, and we're going to ride the wave. So there's definitely going to be more I'm sure I'm going to feel and share out, and I do share out about too. I don't know if you might have seen, but even just before drinking came to the picture, I restricted my eating, and that whole cycle of me not eating and looking a certain weight. That was like the intro to not drinking. So I've shared a lot about that, on getting down to 88 pounds and excessive cardio and limiting my calorie intake. And that took over my life in my 15 to 19 year, like that age range. And I'm really open about that too, because I want women to feel seen that way as well, and not just categorize the alcohol piece. So I've been there as well. Really open about that. And thankfully I found food freedom, and I love food now, so I don't think I'll be diving back in that world anytime soon, ever. But yeah, with alcohol for sure, and just riding the wave, it's always going to be a journey. Always.
It is a tough one.
Yeah.
I haven't drank in a couple of years, but it's a hard one. I listen to some country music sometime. Like every song in country music's about having a great time in summertime drinking, and you're just like, God, it's like I want to do that.
Every single song. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that you hadn't had a sip in a couple years. That's awesome.
It's been in July. It might be 3 years now, but it's been.
Wow, Jeff, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love it.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah.
Last little soundbite will be, all right, so you coach a lot of folks. You're a creator yourself, and then you coach a lot of creators as well. And, a decent percentage of the people that we coach creators big and small, and a decent percentage of them are people who are, I want to get out of that 9 to 5, or at least I'd love to start getting additional income or financial freedom so I can travel more, or have more discretionary income, all the above. If you were give a little word of wisdom of someone who wanted to get started, get growing, and do it, what would you what would be your 2 seconds?
Okay, I have 2. First one is, and I already mentioned this, but your story matters, and your story needs to be heard. It doesn't have to be huge to be impactful and to change someone's life. So just trust that your story is something that deserves to be seen and is powerful enough, no matter what it is, whether it is you going through yoga teacher training, whether it is training for something huge, whether it's simply just living and committing to something. That story is powerful, and that story could be something that changes somebody, and somebody needs to hear it out there. Somebody needs to hear it. So that's my first tip. And my second is, it only takes one person to change your life. Looking back on it now, the power of every single person you meet is coming into your life for a reason, whether it's someone who's messaging you online, whether it's someone you're meeting in person. One person could be the make or break of you getting a brand deal or connecting you to do a collab on something that skyrockets your career. So everyone that you meet, follow up with them, reach out to them, add them on Instagram, add them on your socials, introduce yourself, like make an impact on those people, because it could be the make or break of someone remembering you and thinking, I want to reach back out to that person and pull them in for something. And go out and DM people too. If you want to work with a brand and you're like, I'm terrified, nothing's going to happen if you don't make it happen. So just reach out to as many people, put yourself out there, continue to show up, and connect with the people that are resonating with you. Keep them in your pocket, because they could be life-changing for you. Those are my 2 things.
That's great advice. And the extension of the first one, and then we'll wrap it, is I think there's always this 2 parts of your story, which is you need to tell your story, but I think where your story's not done yet, where you can keep creating story. And you can put yourself, if I was to say to any creator, I would make a list of my customers. If I was like completely business, I'd be like, I'm going to make a list of my customers, like 3 to 5 hardest problems. At the top of it's going to be like sugar and drinking, because that's everyone's hard problem, right? And then, and it's like, if you do go and solve that, which is great, it's a healing, you're solving for yourself, you're learning to solve a lot of problems. So story is incredibly important. And then I would say, kind of on top of that is you can be really intentional to keep creating story. And yeah, I don't know. Let's just add that on top. But
so true. And every piece of your life is content. Like, to your point, like everything that you're doing throughout your life is something that you can turn into a really compelling, awesome story. So just keeping that in mind too, that whether it is a conversation or whether it is you out or whether it's you having a moment of being low in your emotions, like this is all stuff that people need to see online, and people want to feel seen and feel connected right now. So keeping that in mind too, that it's okay to show up and not be your fullest, most perfect self. It's going to do wonders for somebody who might need it.
Well, I want you as my coach. So, so thank you. You're awesome.
Let's do it. I'm here for you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. You're super fun. You're super cool. It's everything you're doing is amazing.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's been a blast chatting.
Thanks for your time today.
Yes, no problem. Thank you so much.
We'll talk soon.
Talk soon. Bye.